Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. It's Monday night. My name's Phil. 7:30 we are live every Monday night. We want your views. We want your comments. What do you want to talk about? A good win in the FA Cup. Nottingham Forest. The tie that we all wanted. We want your views. We want your comments on it. No game away at Everton, but hopefully the Burnley game is still on at the weekend. Get your views and get your comments in. Oh, transfers. Should we talk about transfers? I think we will.
Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. Are you ready for the show? Thanks to our sponsors, ADT Taxis, Everards, Pukka Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, Hollogram, The Fox's Arms, Peter's Pizzeria, Hope Against Cancer, and Newby Co estate agents. We want your views, we want your comments, so join us live. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Nottingham Forest away, bring it on, bring it on. Who else is, I can't wait for that, honestly, can't wait. Thinking back, it's been ages since we played away at Forest in a competitive match. Are you excited like me? Alley Le Bleu, I think that was the last one we went to, Alley Le Bleu. That one, and the one where Clive Clark sadly had his heart attack at half-time. They're the big two that bring to my mind and the replay of that. Anyway, get your views and get your comments in. Follow us at Leicester Fan TV. As ever, we can get as many comments on screen. This is all about what you want to say. Good evening to you, Fearless Fox. Good evening to you, Maz. How are you? Imtiaz, mate. Hope you're well, Imtiaz. Good to have you on here. Jono, how's the arm, Jono? I know it's been poorly. Jono broke his arm in a freak yachting accident or something similar. Karen, Auntie Karen, hope you're well. Jack, good evening to you, Jack. Jack will be live tomorrow night giving you his views on all sorts. Here he is. We were waiting for you. Stuff Leicester support Forest. All right, lad. I was hoping you're going to come on. If I send you a link, mate, will you come on tonight or next week? We've got to get you on. We want to talk to you. Ross, watching all the way up in Sheffield. Thanks, Ross, says, good evening. Forest away, 8 years in the making. God, has it been that long since we played Forest? You forget, don't you, Ross, that they're just some rubbish team up the A46 in the Championship. Lucky to still be in the Championship, if you ask me. Let's get it on there. Here he is. I knew we were going to have some Forest banter tonight. That's what we love. And, of course, don't forget, as Stuff Leicester Support Forest on YouTube would say, we're not even their rivals. They don't care about us. Remember that. Bring it back to earth to Premier League chit-chat. Paul, we have been sat in the office today, myself, Jake, Sam, Reedy, chatting about this. Paul says, good evening. I'm getting concerned about the lack of signings when we have such a depleted squad. I've printed out a few rumours to chat about, as you can see in here. There's not many, and to be fair, a lot of them, they're a bit scratchy because we keep missing out on players. So we've got a few to talk about. Want your views on that and your comments on there. Dave says, good evening. Looking forward to the Forest game. Yeah, me and you. Oh, Dave, honestly, we've missed it. It's been ages since we've had a proper East Midlands derby. And the big three, as I would call it, derbies for Leicester, is Forest, is Derby, and is Coventry. They're the three. I mean, we've been saying, oh, we'll play Villa away. It's a derby. It's not really a derby. It's a quick game to get to, but it's nice to be playing Forest. It really is. Done quite well against them recently as well. Good evening, says Gray. Good evening to you. When we play Forest, if we're on form like this, we will take them to the cleaners and send them the bill. Aggie can't wait as well. Aggie, listen, if you, I wonder, here's a question to you guys who are watching this. I know we have quite a lot of people as young as me watching. Like me and you, Aggie, we're about the same age. I think you're probably a bit younger than me. For our era of footy fans, of Leicester fans, oh, bring on the Forest. It used to be every season, home and away, Forest here, Forest there. Do the younger audience, does it not mean so much to them, I wonder? I really wonder that. It's a question, because to me, I'm like, who would you rather pull out in the FA Cup? Forest, Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool. Liverpool maybe, but it would be Forest every time. Forest or Derby, honestly. And I want to know, younger ones, perhaps they're like, yeah, I don't know, because they haven't felt that rivalry, that going to Derby away, that going to Forest away in a league game. It's been such a long time. Can't even remember last time we played Derby in there. Stuff. I'm going to give him a bit of time because it is definitely Forest night tonight. We're going to talk about it. Thought I'd change the name from Can't Pay, Take It Away. Oh, dear. Kalabiba or Kabila. Have I said that right, mate? Good evening to you. Fee, hope you're well. Fee says, Phil, the Nottingham Forest fan who keeps visiting this channel is going to love this match. We're going to love having him on it. He keeps coming back every week. I say he, it could be a she. Who knows? But he is a Forest fan. Andy says we can play 11 under 23s against Forest. I'm going to, Andy, we'll have lots of banter, but in the reality is we want to beat them. We want to keep hold of this FA Cup. Could we go all the way in the FA Cup back to another final? It'd be nice to get to another FA Cup final this season and take more fans. I was one of the very, very lucky ones to get to that game. I know nowadays, the bigger we get, the bigger Leicester get, you've got to stop taking it for granted that you can get to these games. You really have. It's not this Forest away game. Going to be a lot of fans not getting a ticket. Nick says, "Oh, listen to the Forest fans pipe up, bless them. It's like it's their cup final." Indeed. Bring on the trees, says Paul. Bring on the trees. He says he'll come on maybe later in the week. How about next Monday, or how about just before the match? I know the date. I don't think it's been confirmed. It's around the 4th, 5th, 6th, or 7th, isn't it? Which is going to be in there. Good evening, says Neil. From Loughborough, another of the Loughborough massive Leicester fans. There's the odd Derby and Forest fan around Loughborough. I see them sneaky around, trying to hide the sheep shagger stuff or the tricky trees. Karen says, weren't we meant to get Coutinho? We are. I've got a very, very special guest joining us just shortly. I can see him. He's getting warmed up. I can see him in the green room back there. You get ready. It's a special guest. I'll bring him on in a minute. So I want to build up the anticipation, but we've not had a chat with this gentleman in a little while. I'm very looking forward to it. We're going to talk lots of transfer with him and get his take on the matches. Aggie says, can you remember when we played at Forest and they were throwing chocolate bars at Rodgers? We lost 3-2. Think they scored in the last minute. I don't remember that one, Aggie. I don't. There's lots of Forest games. I definitely remember the Clive Clark at half-time one. I probably remember it for all the wrong reasons, that one. The fact that Clive Clark, not that we knew on the terraces, had a heart attack at half-time. It all turned very nasty in behind the goal where we were standing. I took my missus for her first, and believe it or not, after the amount of aggro was, only ever away game, because the police started battening all the Leicester fans just because, I don't know, to clear us out or something. That was pretty scary. Then we had the replay of that where we gave them the goal. Do you remember? I think they were winning 1-0 from the first half of the first game. And then we went back and we just stood back and let them walk through and score. So very sporting, typical Leicester in there. And then obviously I remember Anthony Knockaert, which is probably my all-time top 10 moments as a fan. Knockaert scoring in that match and then coming to the fans. That's why we love Knockaert for that, believe it or not. Ross says, in order of hated, Coventry, Derby, Forest. I don't even know Forest existed until 2002. Never heard of them. Karen says, young ones don't understand the rivalry aspect of football. It's true. Some fans say Spurs are our rivals. For me, they're not really. They're not rivals. Jack saying FA Cup was 2016. Thanks, Jack. Appreciate that. I knew somebody would get it right. Yeah, Hooters. I know in Nottingham. Yes. Are you a female? Do you work in Hooters? I don't know. Maybe. Daniel says, in recent years, Villa's felt like a grudge match. We've always had good matches against Villa. Matty says, last time we saw Forest was 1997 at Filbo. Brilliant. Sorry, Nick. I'm upsetting Nick here there. Would have preferred Coventry away. I like the M69 derby. We're going to listen. Until we have this special guest come on, we're going to just have a bit more Forest banter, but he is going to come on any minute. You're just going to make me all laugh in there with that, Jack. My lad can't wait. He's heard all my stories of local derbies. I know that's what it's like, Paul. Honestly, I was very lucky. I took my eldest lad, who's now 22, to the Anthony Knockaert one away. I couldn't get tickets for all the family that day. Like I say, they are getting ticket. LCFC, great. Loughborough massive, get in there. Wherever you're watching this, let us know. From around the world, a far-flung fox. Jack says here Forest away tickets could be out on Monday. Surely, Jack, as well, this will be one of the big matches live that weekend. Forest against Leicester. It's got to be. It's got to be. No point in signing players. We'll have too many on the book, says Kenny. And I do want to speak to, let's bring him in now. Here he is. We've not seen this boy in a little while. Boy, man, whatever you want to call him. And I'm very pleased to say here he is, Baldy Locks. It's Locks, mate.
Long time no see, mate. How are you?
Trust me, we've been missing you. Everybody watching Leicester Fan TV misses you, Locks. So we hope you're well. I know we've seen each other outside the ground. We've done a couple of videos outside the ground. So it's great to have you here back on Leicester Fan TV for a special night. But I'm going to put you right on the spot, Locks. Because obviously we know you know your football stuff. What transfers? It feels like Leicester sort of getting linked with a few players, but then Coutinho goes to Villa. Digne, I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, from Everton's definitely not going to come to Leicester. I've been scouring. I've got a few transfer, but they're like not really even rumours. What's your take on it?
Yeah, I don't know who we're going to go for. I mean, I didn't think we had any money left. You know, obviously we've got money, but I didn't think we were going to spend much. This transfer window. But I think we have to. I know some people are saying, we're going to have too many players on the books when, I get that as well, when everyone is back fit. But is everyone going to be back fit at the same time? Because with how we are at the minute, I don't think they will be. Every time we get one player back, we lose two. So it's difficult, but I think loans probably are the way to go. But I mean, you mentioned Lucas Digne. That's not going to be a loan. It looks like he's going to Villa, I think, anyway, which is another great signing for them.
I know. Where are they? I mean, is it Stevie Gerrard? Is he that Paul? Because I thought Brendan Rodgers, obviously having managed Coutinho, we could get him in. I mean, a loan deal for Coutinho, we'd have loved that, wouldn't we, Locks?
I think it's just the wages again. I mean, we were speaking. I think we first heard about the Coutinho rumours in the summer, quite early on, actually. I think it was like May or something last year. And yeah, it was like Gareth Bale the year before. There were rumours of Gareth Bale as well the season before that in the summer. But I think it's just the wages. We're not a club that wants to throw big money at players, let alone just like the wages. We don't really spend. I mean, I think the record's Tielemans still 40 million. And he earned that with that 6 months he had with us on loan. So I can't see us spending big. I can only see us really signing loans. There's talks again of Tarkowski in the summer, though, I heard. And, will we need him in the summer? Because I don't think Fofana's going to leave us, yet. I think we've got another season of Fofana before those rumours start. So, yeah, I think we're going to look at that Aberdeen. Is it Aberdeen? Is he Aberdeen, the Scottish right back or centre back? Young lad.
Do you know what, Locks? I haven't even got that one down. I've got Nate Phillips. We were linked with, right. And Sean's just put that in there. Who's a centre back from Liverpool. But again, I think he may end up going to Newcastle. It's either Newcastle or Villa. It feels like. People saying about we might have to let people go. I can't see us selling anybody in January. But Youri Tielemans, Locks, been talk of this contract. He's got about 18 months left on it. If he's not signing it now, it's starting to fear. And I'm going to tie him with that. Madders is playing ever so well at times at the moment. Are these two players who not going to go in January, but could be fearing that they go this summer?
Yeah, I think 90% of Leicester fans are pretty, pretty sure on that. We think Tielemans is gone in the summer, 100%. I mean,
do you really think that? Are you as close to 100% that you think Youri's going to go?
Yeah, I would imagine so. I would imagine he's the one. It's whether we normally sell one player in every window, well, every summer. I would imagine he is the one. I think this year we didn't. Did we sell anyone this year? I don't think we did.
No, this was the first time we didn't.
And that's why as well. That's why there was a lot of excitement about this season as well, because obviously we had that terrible end again. Second year in a row. But for once, we kept the team together and we brought players in, and we thought if there's any season where we're going to finish top four, it's this one, And obviously, I think the Fofana injury in the Villarreal game in pre-season summed up our season before it even started. So, I think I can't see us selling anyone this window. We need everyone we can. The last two windows, there's talk of Hamza going somewhere on loan or permanently. He's not going, especially after his performance the other night, yesterday or Saturday, sorry. So, yeah, Tielemans, I think, is pretty nailed on. I think the delay in my head, what I viewed it as all along was that he was waiting to see whether we may finish top 4 this season. If we finished top 4 this season, I think he probably would have stayed for another year, Champions League football. But at this point, I just can't see it happening. I think even if we throw all the money in the world at him, I think he's an ambitious player, and I think he will want to move on. Because for me, he gets into every single team on the planet. There's no team in the world, in my opinion,
probably looks better,
into.
Locks. Yuri Tillemans probably looks better in an even better side than Leicester, doesn't he? In a Man City side, Yuri Tillemans would look even better, I think. Talking of top 4s at the end of the season, I mean, Kasper's pretty much come out and said he wants to play Champions League football.
Well, he needs to improve his performances. Look, he's been getting a lot of stick recently, but he's not from this season. He's not been a top four keeper. So I don't know if that interview was taken out of context. It didn't seem like a Kasper Schmeichel thing to say about Leicester as such. So I don't know how accurate those comments were. But it's if there's ever a season where you're going to want to leave Leicester in the last 3 years, it's this year, because we are having an awful year. So I just hope that the players can the ambitious ones that do want to achieve more, I hope they do focus on it and think, well, hold on, where we are in the table with the players that we've got out, it's not awful. It's not an awful season. Like, we could be a lot lower than we are. So yeah, it's just, I don't know, mate. It's just whether they think about it that way, but it's tough. This is going to be the hardest year in terms of keeping players, for sure.
I mean, I said last week, Locks, that actually I'm not writing this season off. We could still go well in the FA Cup. We could still do something in this Conference Europa League thing that we're in, and I'd take either of those two. Would be delightful. But married that in with maybe a mid to just over halfway up the table finish in a very strange year with COVID and, of course, injuries. So many injuries, Locks. So many injuries. I know we've got a couple maybe coming back. James Justin, Fofana, but James Justin played 45 minutes for the under-23s on Saturday. They've had such massive injuries. I think fans don't realise these guys probably won't be properly fit, I don't think, until September or till August the next season.
I don't want to jinx it or as such, but all you got to do is look at Ricardo Pereira since he's come back to people. We have to be excited because there's nothing to be excited about right now. So we have to look forward to these players coming back. However, it's going to take time. I think Fofana will be back up to speed a lot quicker than Justin will eventually. So yeah, it's going to be a tough one for Justin. I think we've Luke Thomas is a sign things to come. He's been magnificent. I think he gets his stick, of course, because he's still a young player and he's still got a lot of inexperience, and he does make mistakes. Of course he does, but I think we've seen enough of Luke Thomas in the last 18 months to show that he could, once Justin's back, it's going to take time for him. As I said, Luke Thomas could be the starting left back, in a year's time. He could be the one that he's playing every game with James Justin on the bench, with Castagna on the bench. So yeah, it's going to be tough for those players coming back, but I think when we do have a full fit squad, we've got enough options for sure that we don't have to rely on them, those injured players.
We've got a lot of love coming in for you, Locks. A lot of fans saying nice to see you back on here, including Joanna, which is great. Get your questions into Locks as well. Joanna says, considering our COVID and injuries, we've done well to be where we are. Those young lads showed plenty of passion last game. We might not have many fit seniors, but we've got enough wannabes who can shine, which is true. But then LCFC Grey asks this, Locks, and again, I've had this debate very much today with people I work with. Vardy won't be the same when he comes back. This is a big layoff for Jamie Vardy, and it's sort of on top of an injury towards the back end of next year. Jamie Vardy has been an outstanding player for Leicester, and I hope he does come back and keep coming back, but it's starting to feel like it might be getting towards his twilight. Do you agree, Locks? I mean, it's pretty obvious, but what's your thoughts on Vardy?
Yeah, absolutely. He hasn't been the same since he came back from his injury 12 months ago. Was it 12 months ago? I think I know he came back and he scored against Liverpool, and he scored a decent amount of goals since then, but he's not been the same Jamie Vardy since then. And I wouldn't say he's been getting, significantly worse over the last 12 months, but like we talk about, we've said for the last few years, Vardy's like a fine wine, but eventually that does end, and he's not immortal. He is going to retire at some point, and of course, Rodgers brought in Daka for this future, long-term replacement for Vardy, and we've got Iheanacho there as well. So, that it's weird because you would think, if you said to me 2 years ago, Vardy, losing Vardy as an, for injury and him declining, I would have said that's going to be the worst part of our season, or the worst part for Leicester. But it's not. It's far from it. I think we've got a lot more problems than Jamie Vardy right now. Obviously, as we speak, it's a bit of a problem because the African Cup of Nations and Daka's injured. But once those two are back, it's really, for me, I don't want to sound ungrateful of Vardy because we all love Jamie Vardy and he's an absolute legend of the club. But it's nothing to be worried about, I don't think. I think we are in a good place with strikers. Iheanacho, Daka. Iheanacho should have played a lot more minutes this year than he has. So I think we're in safe hands in terms of, attackers. It's just the rest of the squad we need to worry about. So
here's a question for you from Ross. He says, Locks, are you glad we didn't sell Hamza to Newcastle? To be fair, but we've had this about Hamza for about a season. People always say he's a red card waiting to happen. I always say, check his stats. He doesn't get that many red cards or yellow cards. I thought he's been playing really well recently again. And I often say we need a midfield general. We need some bite in there. And I feel Hamza offers us that. What's your take on him?
Yeah, I mean, he's just like any other player. He drops a few clangers every now and then. And because he plays less, then obviously those clangers feel like they're more often, because every time you see him play, every few games there's a clanger in there. But I mean, like I said, all you got to look at was the FA Cup game on Saturday. He was my man of the match. I don't know if you guys voted him man of the match. I think he was quality. And Loughborough boy, I believe, Loughborough, and
yep.
Leicester fan. He's grown up at the club, and he has that passion. He has that heart for the club. So if you're going to let anyone go, I don't think we will anyway. But if you're going to let anyone go, it shouldn't be Hamza, because he's the passion he shows. I put a tweet out a couple of weeks ago, just before Christmas, about the passion that Kane and Dewsbury Hall and Luke Thomas have been showing. But yeah, you can't really look past Hamza in terms of passion at the minute, because he's been brilliant filling in for centre back, centre mid. He's been good.
Yeah, Ross saying he's had one red card and 2 yellows. I don't know if the 2 yellows is true, Ross, but I know it isn't many. And listen, Andy Reid keeps putting these comments up. I'm going to put it, I don't know if I'm throwing you under the bus with it. He says, do you know Andy Reid? I don't know is that Andy Reid, the ex-Forest guy? Is that the ex? I don't know. He's got a Forest badge. He says, can you ask Locks about that match shirt of mine that he's got signed from 8 years ago?
I'm not being funny. That actually looks like the Forest Andy Reid.
That's what I'm saying. Is it the ex-Forest player Andy Reid?
It looks like
if you are, it does look like you. But I mean, hey, it's YouTube, so it could be anybody's account.
I don't know what he's going on about though. What Forest shirt? I've got a.
Well, did you know we're playing Forest soon? So we do get occasional Forest fans come on here and say, of course, that we're not their rivals, Locks, and they're not bothered about us. Yet they love to come and comment on here.
Yeah, I've got a few Forest mates, so I don't know if he's being serious.
Yeah, Reedy says it's not the real one. So, Locks, transfers. We've been talking about players going and not being fit, and obviously we've got the 3 players out at AFCON at the moment. Tomorrow's match is off against Everton. I'm struggling to know if the match on Saturday against Burnley will be on. Daka may be back for that match. It's going to be really tough to know, because we can't draw from the young lads who played in the FA Cup. We just can't draw from that pool of players in the Premier League. No,
it's a tough one. If you look at it from the Premier League standpoint, I know it's tough, and we have genuine reason to postpone games, but I don't think we can do it much more. I think this season, look, I might be looking at this negatively. For me, this season's a write-off in terms of where we want to be in Europe. I think you've got to. I think we just play the games, mate. I do. I think it's a good. We're not going to get relegated, right? We're not going to get relegated.
No, but if you've not got the players, this is. But I don't know if Leicester are slightly using it as an excuse. Not an excuse.
Well,
but
we have
a lot of injuries, haven't we?
We can play the under-21s, though, can't we? We can play them. The under-23s.
Again, you perhaps know the rules better than me, Lots,
Yeah.
because of the there's a 25-man Premier League squad, but then I believe you can add into that young, homegrown academy talent.
So anyone under the age of 21 and under doesn't need to be included in that 25. So I think as soon as you bring one of them in, though, they class as a first team. You know what I mean? A first team player. So if we wanted to postpone games in the future and we bring these players in now, then we probably won't be able to postpone the games in the future because I'll say, well, you've got him, and him who have played in the Premier League already. But for me, it's we're not going to get relegated. We're not going to finish in the top 4. You know, there's a chance we could finish top 6, but I say play on. We can't keep postponing these games because we're going to run out of time. We'll probably end up having to forfeit them anyway at some point because we've got the World Cup in December, which means that the season's shorter. We're going to run out of time.
A very strange season next season as well, Locks. You're right. We've got here Sean. You remember Sean, Locks? He says, what do you think about Kieran Dewsbury Hall?
I love him, mate. Yeah, I absolutely love him. I think you mentioned it earlier about Hamza, you know, the midfield general. I think, again, passion, desire, technical quality as well. You know, he's not short of that either. It's funny, actually, when I went to Warsaw for the Warsaw game, obviously, in Europa League away, I was in a pub in an Irish bar and I met one of Kieran and Dewsbury Hall's best mates, and I was sat there talking to him. I've been invited to the golf course with them, so that'll be fun. I'll go there eventually.
Enjoy.
Yeah. Hopefully I don't injure him. We don't want that. But yeah, no.
Oh, God help us. No, enough injuries. If you swing a 7-iron into his leg or something.
Yeah, but he's a top guy because I have met him before in Loughborough. But yeah, he's a top guy and a wonderful player. I saw the photo of you with him, Sean, actually. So yeah, I think again another player, you know, that's come through the academy and has got a long future with us. And I look forward to, you know, you saw photos of him laughing with Klopp after we beat them. It's like, don't you dare, Klopp! You're not having him yet. A couple more years.
I know. Well, I mean, like Gray says here, and again, I had this conversation very much today, Locks, with someone in the office. Dewsbury Hall, I think. The rest of this season, the more game time he gets, if Yuri Tielemans goes or if Maddison goes, Kieran Dewsbury Hall, I'm sure they've been saying to him, look, there could be a gap here that you could drop into.
I think he could do it. Yeah, 100%. Obviously, Samari as well. You know, in that, you know, he's not set the Premier League alight, but I think there's definitely a player there who, you know, with time could adapt, you know, and be a really, really, really good Premier League player. So, again, you know, I think the defence is a problem at the minute, but midfield, you know, attackers, when they're fit, it's not a problem really for me. So, but Dewsbury Hall, yeah, he could definitely fill Tielemans' shoes 100%. And, you know, I look at him in the same way that I, you know, probably look at like Chilwell and at the time back then and Maddison, you know, where he could go for some serious money in 5 years' time, you know, if he continues developing the way he is. And you never know, he might do a Vardy and stay with us for a long time. Hopefully he chooses that.
Locks, we've got to finish in a minute, but I did want to mention Todd Cantwell from Norwich, who, funnily enough, do you know what? I watched him play about a year ago when they were in the Championship, and he's quite noticeable with his big golden flowing locks, excuse the pun. But I've said then, I said, this lad looks really good. You're shaking your head. We have been slightly linked with him. I can't see why Norwich would sell anybody if they want to stay up.
I'm not shaking. Yeah, I'm not shaking my head at his technical. I've heard, you know, attitude is a big problem.
Well, if you got hair like that, you bet. I mean, crikey! When I was younger, I used to have big. No, I didn't. But he's he's
I just got don't the think we need any. I don't know. For me, you know, other people disagree. You know, I think you can look at players' technical ability and you can overlook sometimes the attitude that comes with it, the bad attitude. You know, he might surprise me if he, you know, somehow joined us and you know, set the Premier League alight. But Yeah, I can't see it. I can't see he's making the signing, and I don't really want it either. So I've heard some stories about him from insiders at Norwich, which make me want to stay clear of him. So.
Well, it probably fit in with half the stories we hear of the
Well,
insiders
true.
from Leicester, to be fair with you then, Locks.
He would have definitely been at the darts with Madison and
Oh, yes.
and
and the party that never happened as well.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Indeed, Locks. Before we get into any trouble, Locks, listen, it's been brilliant having you on. Karen says, bring back Locks full-time garlic bread. So thank you, Karen, for that. Locks, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. Hopefully we'll get you back on again soon.
100%.
And keep safe, keep well, mate.
Thank you, mate. Thanks to everyone. Thanks for watching. Good to be back, and I'll see you soon.
We'll see you soon. Thanks a lot, Locks. Brilliant to have Locks on. Thanks for his views in there. Last couple of comments in there. Daniel completely disagrees with me. Cantwell isn't what we need. Well, you're agreeing with what Locks says. I hadn't heard those stories. I've just seen him play on telly on Match of the Day, and I thought he looked all right. Scooby Bass says we need to sign an electrician in case the lights go out again, lol. Yeah, somebody pay the meter. Talking of the lights, and I know we're overrunning here, we've said this the last few night matches, me and the lads, when we've been there. Do you remember we put in these round lights that they paid all that money for, and it was all, they can do a stunning light show? Do you remember that? We've seen it happen at like 2 home games about 2.5 years ago. They do all the music, they do all the lights. It's very, love it or hate it, but I quite liked it because I thought it was good. Why don't we do that anymore at night matches? It's like, has somebody forgotten to press the button and just go, oh, it's a night match? These are pre-programmed to do like a funky light show. And now, oh God, I've set myself off now. Here's another one for you. What? Anybody else think the pre-match at the King Power at the moment has gone rubbish? I know I'm getting old. The music is not that great, and it's so flipping loud. The fans can't even have a sing song to get it going. Back in the day, here we go. Back in the day, you used to have to get in the cop 45 minutes to an hour to get your standing position, and we started singing an hour before the match. Honestly, now the singing. Do you know what they do? They play the music that loud in the King Power Stadium at the moment. Listen, next home match, play it that loud until the whistle goes. Kick off, and then it's silence, and then people go, where's the atmosphere? And it's like, you've not let it build up, mate. You've just played really loud music for an hour, so loud that you can't talk to the person next to you barely. Anyway, honestly, safe standing soon, backfill. Maybe, Joanna, maybe I should just go back to 1989 when we used to stand in Pen 2 and Pen 3 at Filbert Street. Patrick, I knew you, Patrick, would be down with me on the moaning. Music kills the atmosphere. Ditch it along with the clappers. Well, I'm a fan of the clappers. My lads aren't, but I'm a fan of the clappers. Goal song. Yeah, we know why that got changed in it, though, don't we? So I think that's all right. And Daniel says, "Do you see how much electric costs?" That's why they. Hey, have you seen how much a Premier League football player costs these days, Daniel? I think we can afford the light show. No, post on Gallop has to be. No, that's the best bit. But honestly, yeah, I'm with you, MTS. I like the clappers. They generate noise. Yes, I agree. It would be quiet. And Pen 1 was the greatest. Scooby, it wasn't. It was Pen 2, mate. Pen 1? Pen 2. Pen 2 or Pen 3, depending on how you felt. But Pen 1, unless you were there for chucking your 50p's at the away fans, or Scooby, let's have a look at your profile picture. It was probably a 2p knowing you, mate. Listen. Patrick's on form tonight. He says the lights went off injured. That's about right. Listen, I've overrun. I'm not meant to be here talking about clappers or atmosphere. Pen 2, good lad. I was in there with you, Daniel. I was in there. I remember when we used to score with the post on Gallop. Yes, again, they have tweaked that. You're right, Ross. It used to do the and then the post on Gallop, and then that, and it's changed. I'm not sure it's who voted for the or whatever. It's not even that one, is it? I'm losing the plot. Absolutely losing the plot. Pen 3, Aggie. Yeah, I was Pen 2, Pen 3, depending on how many pints you'd had and how busy it was. Yes, Nick, Pen 2, good lad. Joanna, Pen 2. We've got to finish this. 6 minutes late. Thanks for all your views. Thanks for all your comments. It's been great to get you on. Special thanks to Locks for coming on. It's been great to have Locks on again. Follow us at Leicester Fan TV, wherever you're watching. Tomorrow night, Jack is on live, 7:30. So make sure you come and chat with Jack, 7:30. Then he's away there's the women's football on Wednesday, so he'll be bringing you some stuff from that. Thursday, Tom is on 7:30, away fan chat with a Burnley, I think it's called the Turf Moor podcast, something like that. Anyway, they're Burnley. Think Leicester Fan TV, think Burnley Fan TV. It'd be one of them boys. And then, fingers crossed, it's Burnley away. We'll be doing the watch along. And if you've never watched the Leicester Fan TV watch along, make sure you do. If you're not at the match, honestly, forget radio, whatever. Forget BBC, that. Forget Sky. This is what you need.
Great play.
Yours on side.
Line down the left hand side. He comes. Lookman, mate.
Lookman.
Into the box. Lookman into the box. Pass one. Shoot.
Come on! Come on! 30 seconds. Come on!
That's what you want. So come and watch more of that. Probably have Elijah on there, Michael, whoever. We'll get the guys on. We'll see you then. See you very, very soon. See you next Monday.
Welcome to. Thanks for watching Leicester Fan TV. Thanks to our sponsors, ADT Taxis, Everards, Pukka Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, Hollogram, The Fox's Arms, Peter's Pizzeria, Hope Against Cancer, and Newby Co estate agents. Make sure to follow us on all of our social channels at Leicester Fan TV. Visit our website, leicesterfantv.com.
Hi, Locks. Locks, can you hear me?
It's still live, aren't you, mate?
Oh, hey! Forgot to press the end button.